What is one thing you love about being a woman?
Being able to create a human. And I like the feeling of being a woman.
I just love being a woman. I don't know, maybe...
I love everything about being a woman. Let's see.
Realizing how much support there is between women.
I guess that would be carrying a child inside of me and feeling it kick.
I think in our society it's still more normal as a woman to be in contact with your emotions, to be emotional, to be sensitive. I really like that about being a woman, which doesn't mean that men shouldn't be able to be emotional, but I think that they're more afraid of being it.
Well, everything I would say now fulfills stupid cliches.
I think most of the time I'm just fighting against being seen as either this or that.
I'm almost embarrassed to admit that there's nothing I particularly love about being a woman in our society.
I hate being treated like I'm weak.
I hate what society does to women, and that list is quite long, I have to say.
Giving labor and periods.
That I cannot pee standing up.
Don't go running at night.
Don't wear like big cutouts.
Don't park at the back of parking lots.
Have a key in your hands when you walk home.
Don't get drunk.
Don't never let your drink stand around anywhere. Have it in your hand, and also like put your hand over the top.
I am black, but I'm also a woman. But I'm also bisexual, and so on and so forth. And so all these intersections of my identity in the middle create me.
So they didn't teach anything but just don't have sex.
Yeah.
I can remember the series Gossip Girl sending some really fucked up messages about what healthy relationships should look like.
I don't want to mention it, Taylor Swift, but I will. She has a song on her latest album called The Man, where she's basically talking about, if I have lots of boyfriends as a woman, I'm a slut. If you have lots of girlfriends as a man, you're basically just browsing.
I just sometimes think that, people talk about sex a lot more than they actually have it.
I think Germans are quite open when it comes to talking about sex, even though there are some people that I wouldn't talk about sex with.
On the one hand, you can sell a burger by putting said burger on someone's exposed breasts in a way. And on the other hand, though, we don't talk about those things.
That was what was the class all about?
Right, that was my sex education, which isn't really sex education because it's just don't have sex. Have you ever been catcalled walking down the street in Germany?
Oh, yes.
Have you ever had anyone tell you, or have you experienced it with your daughter, don't be such a boy?
No, I haven't actually.
You're such a girl is also the same thing they tell guys and boys, and that's why we also have this term of toxic masculinity. If a boy is sad, he's not allowed to cry. Why not? I don't get it.
As an American, I can remember hearing in the US people referring to European men in general as like girly because they like soccer. I knew I wasn't ready, and he knew I wasn't ready because I kept saying no. Have you ever heard of the term blue balls? In German, maybe roughly translated into blaue Hoden?
Not before you sent me the questions.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I think I've heard it, and I can imagine that it means that you're having a lot of sex, so your balls become blue from it.
There are synonyms in German. I don't know how common they are.
Yeah, in Germany I think it's called dicke Eier.
And that was the only content that was taught.
Yes.
At a certain point, I really wanted to lose my virginity because I thought it wasn't cool to still be a virgin.
I was laying there being like, is that happening? Whoa. And I couldn't say anything. I was thinking, I don't think I want that, but I wasn't able to just talk about it. I used to say rote Tante, which is like red aunt.
Yeah. And in English, we have Aunt Flo.
Oh.
I'm a pretty shameless breastfeeder.
You don't have to wear a bra if you don't feel like wearing one.
I don't have any girlfriend that is really 100% happy and comfortable in her body.
It's been a very complicated relationship. I feel like I'm getting emotional about this. Trying to fit into that like white European white woman ideal of hair and beauty really made me very insecure.
So there's parts of my body that I like.
For example, I really like my hair, and there's parts that I don't like. For example, I'm kind of in a battle with my legs.
I was told by society, by also other girls, I was too small or too thin, too dark, always too something.
My body hair, my thick thighs, and the shadows under my eyes.
My stomach.
Yeah, I've done lots of diets, of course.
Low carb, paleo.
I think when I was 10, I was reading about how some models lose weight and they use a laxative. So I tried that too and it was horrible.
Juice fast.
I ended up on the edge of anorexia by just not eating at all anymore because I wanted to be thinner.
But at a certain point, through therapy, through speaking to someone and talking about my issues, I have a much better relationship with food, and I do not do diets anymore, and I do not plan on ever doing a diet in my life ever again.
So I think you're starting to get a picture of what I grew up in.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,